time to talk about what's on my bag plus what's on my phone. Not a lot has changed compared to the last time I made this video, but I've tried my best to simplify everything as much as I can. My first goal was to USB-C everything, and I've done some strange things to achieve that goal. And my second one was to build a setup with which I can shoot, edit and upload these videos from anywhere. But also I have two setups now. One is pretty simple and the other one is loaded. So let's start with the simple one. I mainly got this so I can carry around my camera everywhere, which is the Sony a6700 with the Sigma 18-50 f2.8. Let's talk about what else is there. There's a hidden AirTag, which I'm obviously not going to show where it is, but there's a side compartment which holds a lot of interesting things. The first one is a CPL filter. I use this to mainly cut out reflections from a screen, and it's pretty useful for that. I have my lens caps which conveniently hold a SD card inside just in case if I need a backup. But also this doubles as a grey card when I need one to white balance stuff quickly. It is super useful and I don't think a lot of people know about this trick. Apart from that, there's a cleaning cloth so I can clean my cameras or all of these. There's also the Peak Design anchor mount and an eyelet wrench which go together with the Peak Design strap that I've kept at the back. I'm not a fan of camera straps, but this one is pretty good. You can easily attach or detach them from your camera. It also makes your camera easy to carry around sometimes, and I mostly wrap it around my hand to just safely hold my camera. The last thing that's in this bag is my sunglasses, which I carry around everywhere, but also my power bank, which is the Anker MagCore 622, which I recently lost. Oh wait, I forgot them in my pockets. Right has the iPhone 13 Pro and left has the AirPods Pro 2s. They do the job well and that's all I care about. And I have a very interesting lanyard on my AirPods. Sony AirPods Pro 2s, probably the only well-named Sony product. Also, I don't wear a smartwatch anymore, so these two are the only tech products that's on me. Okay, I have to clear all of these out. Okay, time to get to my loaded setup, and the first thing that's there inside this is my M1 MacBook Pro, which I've been using for 4 years. Apart from the performance letting me down when I edit, this is honestly still a very good laptop. I'm going to be replacing this soon with the 14-inch M4 Pro MacBook Pro just because of the extra performance. But here's one thing to keep in mind. The M1 is still great for many tasks, and if I wasn't doing YouTube, I wouldn't replace it. The only con I have with it are the lack of ports. For that, which I have one dongle, which is an SD card reader. I don't really use it that much because I use the Sony Creators app and transfer the photos from my phone, and then I just airdrop them to my Mac. I am pretty lazy, but sometimes I just plug my camera into my laptop with a USB-C cable and transfer files quickly. Peak laziness. But remember how I talked about USB-C everything? Well, my laptop charges from USB-C, my camera charges with USB-C, and my AirPods charge with USB-C, and my phone has a lightning port. To combat that, I use the Anker Mag Go as my phone charger, since that has a USB-C port to charge, and I relied on MagSafe to charge my phone, except that I lost it recently. To charge everything up, I use this 2-meter USB-C to C cable and also a 25-watt Samsung brick. I don't really need to charge up my stuff often, and this is the smallest USB-C brick I have around, but there's also a USB-C to lightning cable for the just-in-case scenario. Let's talk about the other stuff. There's an external SSD that I built on my own. It also comes with the USB-C to C 10GB cable, which is pretty useful because I've been trying to find one like this for ages. And this is the same cable I use to transfer things from my camera quickly. Apart from that, there's also the morphed invisible tripod stand, which I use a lot. It's a MagSafe stand and a mini tripod. But you would have also noticed that I don't really have a case on my phone. Well, this acts like a case, but I also have one just in case, which is the Native Union leather case for the iPhone 13 Pro. This is really good, but it's not at all durable. I already broke it by trying to remove it from my phone. There's also a mini tripod from Ulanzi for the scenarios where I would want to prop up my camera, and a portable video light from Ulanzi. That's about it for the main compartment. There's a side one with a lot of miscellaneous stuff. First one is my glasses box. I don't think a lot of people know this, but I wear glasses. There's also a box full of chewing gums, so a sub to this channel would be chewy. Okay, I'm kidding. There's some tech in here as well. There's the Zoom H1n, which I'm currently using to record the audio right now, and also the Rode Lavalier Go, which I'm also using right now. That's about it for the bags. Let's talk about what's on my phone. Now, I'm not going to go through every single app that's there on my phone. I'm just going to talk about my setup and some of the apps I use to get my work done quickly. I have a bunch of wallpapers that I change every day, to be honest. And if you want those wallpapers, there's a link in the description for them. Now for the setup, I've changed it up a lot ever since iOS 18. I've just moved every essential app to the bottom and some widgets at the top. Now I know someone's gonna talk about the clock widget, but I just prefer having a bigger one, to be honest. But it's also a shortcut to the clock app, so that's fine. The other side has the weather, battery, and a music widget. The other pages have been mostly unchanged for a very long time, a widget stack at the top and every social media right below it, with just a lot of apps that I access frequently, and the third page mirrors that too, just just a bunch of apps that I use on the daily. But as a night, all of this swaps over to a minimal setup, a black wallpaper, a black and white theme, no notification labels, and just the essential apps. Now let's talk about the apps. I use Notion for all my note-taking needs and also my scripts for these videos. Apple Music is my preferred music streaming service. There's the Creators app which I talked about earlier, which lets me control my camera. But there is one app I do want to touch upon, Water Llama, which allows me to track how much water I drink every day and also log that. It's a really important app for me because I used to not drink the recommended amount of water every day. It reminds me through notifications, and there is also a widget in my home screen reminding me how much water I've drank. And that's about it. Stay tuned for the next video because it's going to be really interesting.